If there's defense in bowling, I do.
You see it pretty much every time somebody throws a urethane ball and I'm bowling against them. No, that's just a joke, but serious too.
I've done it where I've tried to make the lanes harder, but I've also done it the opposite way. I try to make the lanes way easier.
I mean, I don't believe in it, but I mean, if you really wanted to, I guess you could. I mean, you could take, 180 on a bowling ball and play on top of where you think your opponent's going to play to try to make them move off of it.
I did it a couple of times at the Masters this year, and it helped me have some success that I was able to. It wasn't really defense, but it was breaking the lanes down the way I wanted them to be broke down and getting my opponent to have to play in the part of the lane that I wanted to play in.
I was always taught that the bowlers are like painters and the bowling balls are our paintbrush. So we affect what's going on the lane every single time we throw a bowling ball.
Urethane seems to be a big defense play because urethane carries down the oil in such weird ways sometimes, and a lot of bowlers don't know how to handle it very well.
Players out here are so good that whether you push them in a different part of the lane, they'll likely try to figure out something. They'll likely figure something out from that other part of the lane as well.
Like I would never throw a dull ball up 20 if I'm bowling Belmo so I could play 8. That's something I would never do.
I think the extent to which you can play defense is limited in our sport.
I've seen some people throw some surface on the left side, and whether it does anything to lane or not, I'm telling you, like you're looking at it, it's in your head.
I've seen it a handful of times personally, and it sucks. But sometimes that's how people play, is that they want to play defense in order to win.
Yeah, I guess you could say there is, but I mean, it becomes obvious. You might kind of give off the wrong impression, if there's a pattern that emerges and you've got that kind of defensive bowling going on, it kind of sets a bad name for yourself, and I don't think anybody wants that. Yelling and screaming and jumping around, and I mean, I guess people do what they got to do,
Dropping a water ball being defense as well.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're squeezing it when people are bowling, that's a little more inappropriate. A single accident, I don't think that's anything to, shake the stick at, so.
There kind of is. You could kind of slow play your opponent. You could take a re-rack, you accidentally, balk.
Like trying to get in the opponent's head by, the talking smack.
You can take an extra re-rag when you don't need it in a match to slow the match down so that the player needs to wait longer.
I feel like you're going out of your way to take away from your own game to try to affect them, so I feel like that already gives them an advantage.
If you're not offensive minded, trying to set the lanes up for maximum score for yourself, probably not going to get too far.
I personally don't believe in defense because it usually backfires anyway, so I just ignore it.
There's no defense in bowling. There's only offense. You can try all you want to make another bowler's shot maybe not as good. It usually doesn't end up well. I've seen guys try it. They're making their own shot better, which in turn makes the other person's shot worse sometimes. But it's all about making their own shot better. I don't think there's any defense in bowling.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're worried about what the other person's doing, probably don't have a very good chance for yourself anyways.